The rain had not stopped for 3 days, and as Nathan Carter stood on the weathered porch holding a worn cardboard box against his chest, he believed he was only completing one final promise. Inside the box were the last belongings of his best friend, Michael Turner, a man who had saved his life years earlier and had recently lost his own after a long battle with illness. Nathan, a struggling single father raising his 8-year-old son Caleb alone, had delayed this visit because saying goodbye felt impossible. But when the front door finally opened, everything he thought he knew about loss, hope, and second chances changed in a single heartbeat. Standing before him was Michael's younger sister, Grace Turner, whose eyes instantly filled with tears the moment she recognized the box and the exhausted man standing in the rain. Neither of them could have imagined that this painful meeting would become the beginning of a completely different future. Before we continue, if you believe kindness and second chances can change lives, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to the channel Kindness Forever so more inspiring stories can reach people who need them. Nathan had spent the last 4 years surviving instead of living. Ever since his wife passed away from a sudden illness, every morning began before sunrise and ended long after dark. He worked construction jobs across Ohio while doing everything possible to make sure Caleb never felt unloved, even when there was barely enough money to keep the lights on. Michael had been the one person who refused to let Nathan give up. He had babysat Caleb whenever work became overwhelming, repaired Nathan's old truck without accepting payment, and reminded him that even broken people could still build beautiful lives. When Michael passed away, Nathan lost more than a friend. He lost the brother life had given him. Grace quietly invited Nathan and Caleb inside. The small family home looked frozen in time. Michael's favorite baseball cap still hung beside the hallway mirror. His coffee mug rested on the kitchen shelf exactly where he had left it. Every corner carried memories that made silence louder than words. Nathan carefully placed the box on the dining table. Inside were Michael's watch, old photographs, handwritten journals, a military medal inherited from his father, and a faded leather wallet containing a picture of Caleb smiling beside Michael during a fishing trip years earlier. Grace explained that she had stayed away from her hometown for nearly a decade because of work in Seattle, only returning after receiving the heartbreaking phone call that her brother's condition had become hopeless. She admitted she had never met Nathan before, yet Michael had spoken about him constantly in letters and phone calls. Reading those journals after the funeral had revealed story after story about a determined single father who refused to quit no matter how impossible life became. Grace realized she already knew Nathan through Michael's eyes, and seeing him standing there with that box felt like meeting a person she had somehow known for years. As the afternoon slowly passed, Caleb wandered into the backyard where he discovered an old wooden treehouse Michael had built as a teenager. Covered in dust but still standing strong, it reminded Nathan of something Michael often said, that things built with love could survive almost any storm. Grace watched Caleb laugh for the first time in weeks while pretending the treehouse was a pirate ship. It was a simple moment, yet it broke through months of sadness that had surrounded everyone. Over the next several weeks, Nathan returned to help Grace sort through Michael's belongings. They cleaned the garage together, donated clothes to families in need, organized old photographs, and honored Michael's wish of giving away many of his tools to young apprentices starting their careers. Each visit slowly replaced grief with gratitude. Nathan admired Grace's quiet strength, while Grace saw how deeply Nathan loved his son despite carrying unimaginable burdens. Neither of them searched for companionship. They simply found comfort in someone who understood what it meant to lose someone irreplaceable. One afternoon, Grace discovered a sealed envelope hidden inside one of Michael's journals. On the front were simple words written in Michael's handwriting, "Open together when you're both ready." With trembling hands they unfolded the letter. Michael explained that he knew his illness would eventually end his journey, but he hoped it would never end theirs. He wrote that Nathan had spent years believing he had to carry every burden alone, while Grace had hidden behind work because she feared opening her heart after losing so many people she loved. Michael wished they would remind each other that healing was never meant to happen in isolation. Reading those words felt as though Michael himself was still guiding them toward the future. Months passed, and life slowly transformed. Grace helped Caleb with school projects while Nathan repaired the neglected family home. The house gradually filled with laughter again. Neighbors who had only witnessed funerals and moving trucks now watched birthday parties, backyard barbecues, and children playing beneath bright blue skies. Nathan still missed Michael every day, but his grief no longer felt like an anchor. Instead, it became a quiet reminder of the incredible friend whose kindness continued changing lives even after he was gone. If this story has touched your heart so far, please support this video by liking it, sharing it with others, subscribing to Kindness Forever, and leaving a heartfelt comment because your support helps inspiring stories reach more people who need hope. Special request, please comment below and tell us who has changed your life through kindness, even after they were gone. A year after that rainy afternoon, Nathan stood once again on the same porch, but this time the sky was clear and Caleb was laughing beside him. The box that had once carried memories of goodbye had become the first step toward a new beginning. Nathan realized that returning his friend's belongings had never been the true purpose of that visit. Michael had unknowingly left behind something far greater than watches, photographs, or journals. He had left behind a bridge connecting lonely hearts that desperately needed hope. Sometimes the greatest miracles arrive disguised as painful endings, and sometimes one knock on a stranger's door becomes the moment an entire family finds its way home. The greatest legacy we can leave behind is not wealth or success, but the love that continues changing lives long after we are gone.